Have you noticed it yet? That peculiar, persistent thrum beneath the tinsel and the to-do lists, a quiet, inner dissonance that has nothing to do with holiday stress and everything to do with them. It's more than nostalgia. It feels like a silent alarm only you can hear, ringing from somewhere deep in your chest, a bell that chimes for a door you can't quite see. What if this ache, this restlessness that sharpens as the year bleeds into its final, frosty days, isn't a sign of something going wrong in your twin flame journey, but rather the exact opposite? What if it's the sound of everything going profoundly, terrifyingly right? Let's be honest. This time of year, everyone talks about magic, but they mean the kind in children's stories. Sparkly, predictable, sweet. The magic you're sensing is of a different breed entirely. It's older. It's the quiet, tectonic shift of archetypes realigning in the collective unconscious. It's the gravitational pull of the solstice sun, not just on the planet, but on the unseen orbits of the heart. You feel unmoored because you are, in the most sacred sense, being recalibrated. While the world hustles for eggnog and perfect wrapping, you're standing in the invisible humming center of a spiritual pressure cooker. And that tightness in your chest, that's not anxiety. It's potential. It's the palpable press of a doorway being formed, not from wishful thinking, but from the convergence of time, myth, and starlight, all conspiring to force a single, shining moment of truth from your soul. You're not just missing someone. You are, whether you realize it or not, participating in an ancient ceremony of conclusion and rebirth. Your emotions are the liturgy. Your memories are the sacred text. And the seemingly mundane act of you staring out a window at the winter sky, thinking of a person 1,000 miles away, is the point of the entire ritual. This isn't about crafting a perfect holiday reunion. This is about you becoming so authentic, so starkly real in your own longing and your own readiness, that the universe has no choice but to rearrange reality to match the frequency you are now broadcasting. The most important conversation of your year isn't the one you hope to have with them. It's the one these silent, expectant nights are forcing you to have with the most honest version of yourself. And that conversation, I promise you, changes everything. Let's talk about pressure. Not the mundane kind from unpaid bills or a crowded inbox. I'm talking about the kind that blooms in your chest around mid-December. A peculiar tightness that has little to do with holiday shopping and everything to do with him, with her, with that connection that flickers in your mind like a stubborn star in a cloudy sky. You felt it, haven't you? That sudden, urgent clarity that cuts through the tinsel and carols. A voice in your soul that insists, now. Decide now. Most will call it seasonal sentimentality. But you and I, we know it's architecture. We're standing in a doorway that's only open for a breath, built by 3 converging forces so vast they feel like fate itself. This isn't magic. It's celestial mechanics applied to the human heart. First, understand the year isn't just ending, it's contracting. Imagine the universe as the most meticulous accountant you've ever met. Spectacles perched on the end of its cosmic nose, ledger spread wide. As December ticks on, it begins closing the books. And here's the thing about energy. It demands balance. Every unsaid word, every tear swallowed instead of shed, every brave truth you whispered to your pillow, but not to them, it all carries weight. All year, these unpaid emotional debts accrued in the silent vault of your journey. Now the universe is calling them in. It's not punitive, it's practical. It simply cannot roll the great cosmic clock over to a new chapter while your soul is still cluttered with last chapter's unresolved sentences. So it creates a pressure, a gentle, inexorable squeeze. You'll feel it as a restlessness you can't quell, dreams that wake you with their vividness, memories rising like bubbles in champagne. It's the soul's own version of a use it or lose it policy. The cycle is closing its loop, and everything that wishes to continue must step across the threshold, transformed. This is the first force. The cyclical deadline is why you find yourself staring at your phone, thinking, if I don't speak this truth now, I fear it might fossilize inside me. Now, layer onto this the second force, the archetypal tide. I want you to forget about Santa and reindeer for a moment. Go deeper to the old bones of this season. It is, at its root, the celebration of the return of light. The deepest dark gives way to a promise of dawn. In every culture, in every frost-painted story, this is a time of rebirth, of a sacred child born in humble circumstances, of hope descending into the bleak midwinter. These aren't just pretty stories, my friend. They are living patterns, archetypes, etched into the bedrock of our collective human psyche. Carl Jung didn't see them as fairy tales. He saw them as psychic organs, as real and influential as your heart or liver. And during these days, the archetype of rebirth and sacred reunion is plugged into the mains, vibrating at a frequency that hums in your very DNA. Your twin flame journey is, by its nature, an archetypal story. It's the quest for the missing half, the divine marriage, the union of opposites. So when the seasonal archetype of rebirth fires up, your journey resonates like a tuning fork. The longing you feel isn't just personal loneliness. It's your soul singing along with an ancient, planetary hymn of return. It's the echo of a promise that light always, always comes back. This is why your rational mind, the part that says, just move on, it's too messy, gets drowned out by a deeper, more poetic knowing. You're being pulled by a current older than time toward a shore of reconciliation you can't yet see, but your spirit remembers. And then, just to ensure no one sleeps through this alarm, the universe adds the third force, the planetary pivot, the solstice, the moment the earth herself seems to pause, hold her breath, and tilt on her axis toward a new direction. You think that doesn't affect you? You, who are made of stardust and water, whose emotions are literally tugged by the moon. Please, we are not separate from this cosmic dance. We are its fleeting, conscious expression. The solstice is a gear shift in the energy of the entire planet. It's a wave that washes through every living thing. For a connection as hypersensitive as a twin flame bond, this is like turning the volume from a 6 to an 11. All the subtle telepathy, the mirrored feelings, the mysterious synchronicities, they become amplified, undeniable. The restlessness isn't just in you, it's in the very air, in the slant of the winter light, in the long shadows of the afternoon. The planet is changing its stance, and it asks, no, demands, that you check your own footing. So here you stand, in the quiet chaos of your own life. With the yearly clock ticking to zero in one ear, the ancient myth of rebirth singing in the other, and the whole planet shifting under your feet. This is the triple force portal. It's not a gentle nudge toward holiday romance. It's a convergence, a perfect storm of circumstance designed for one purpose only: to obliterate procrastination. The soul can no longer hide behind maybe next year. The heart can no longer pretend it's fine with crumbs. In this pressurized space, your deepest truth, whether that's a fierce, loving, "Yes, I am ready," or a sorrowful, empowered, "No, this cycle is complete," rises to the surface like a law of physics. It must be expressed. You will decide, actively or by default, which path forks from this sacred, stressful, glorious point. And the beautiful, terrifying secret: this portal isn't about guaranteeing a Christmas miracle with wrapped bows. It's about guaranteeing you become the miracle. It forges your clarity in its triple-fired crucible. But what happens to that clarity once it's born? How does it navigate the quiet internal audit your mind is already conducting on the entire messy, wonderful, painful year? Well, that's where things get even more fascinating. Because while these forces shape you from the outside, there's another process, just as powerful, working from within. But that, as they say, is a story for the next page. So, here we are. You've felt the cosmic pressure cooker of that triple force portal, that undeniable squeeze from the outside. But let's get brutally honest for a second. While the universe is doing its grand celestial symphony outside your window, there's a much quieter, far more relentless meeting happening inside your own skull. And it's not playing spiritual music. It's wearing a gray cardigan, has a stern expression, and is pointing a laser pointer at a spreadsheet titled Year-End Performance Flame Division. This beautiful soul is the second rarely spoken mystery, the compulsory, utterly human, psychological soul audit. And it's happening whether you RSVP'd or not. Think about it. What do all humans do as December bleeds into its final days? We reflect. It's not a choice. It's a cognitive inevitability, as programmed into us as hibernation is for a bear. We look back. We tally. We measure the distance between January's hopes and December's reality. For most people, this audit might cover career moves, fitness goals, books read, the general ledger of an ordinary life. But you're not most people. You're on a journey where one connection has rewritten your entire emotional and spiritual operating system. So when your mind's internal auditor flips on the fluorescent lights and says, "Okay, let's review the year," there is one line item that glows, pulsates, and takes up 3 whiteboards all by itself, the twin flame file. This isn't woo-woo. This is pure, unvarnished cognitive psychology wearing a spiritual disguise. Your brain is a meaning-making machine, and the year's end is its natural period for narrative synthesis. It's trying to craft the story of your last 12 months. And honey, in your story, they are not a subplot. They're the central protagonist alongside you. The audit begins for the divine feminine energy within the journey, and I speak to this from a place of having sat through 1,000 of these internal meetings myself. The audit sounds like this: a series of quiet, persistent questions that surface during the most mundane tasks like wrapping gifts or stirring soup. Did I grow, or did I just get better at waiting? Is my healing a polished fortress or a garden that's actually alive? Another year of choosing myself. But for what? A life of splendid, polished isolation. It's not a wail of despair. It's the sound of the soul's chief financial officer assessing the return on emotional investment. She's weighing the asset of her hard-won peace against the liability of prolonged ambiguity. She's not asking if she loves him. That's a given, filed under intangible assets. She's asking if the structure of this connection still serves the soaring entity she has become. The audit, for her, is a valuation of her own worth in the silent marketplace of this bond. It forces a decision not about him, but about the architecture of her own participation. Will she continue as a silent, hopeful shareholder, or is it time to take her profound equity and invest in a future where her dividends are joy, not just hope? Now, for the divine masculine energy. And here I lean on countless shared confessions from men who felt cornered by this very feeling. The audit is a different beast entirely. It's less about valuation and more about accountability. His mental boardroom is quieter, darker. The questions are blunt, echoing in the space between one task and the next. What did my caution truly protect me from? And what did it cost me? I built a good life, a solid life. So why does it feel like a beautifully furnished waiting room? Another orbit around the sun, another masterclass in strategic retreat, victory or surrender. His audit is a profit and loss statement where the column marked emotional risk is painfully blank, and the column marked security is overflowing but feels suddenly like a warehouse of canned goods in a world starving for a fresh meal. He is confronted with the stark difference between safety and aliveness, and the auditor in his mind, the one he's been able to silence with logic and motion all year, now sits across from him, stone-faced, and won't look away. This is the brutal, beautiful genius of this psychological phenomenon. It uses the universal, boring human habit of year-end review and weaponizes it for spiritual evolution within the twin flame dynamic. It forces both parties to sit in the chair of their own agency, not as victim, not as fantasy, but as the CEO of their heart's journey. The feminine's audit often leads to a clarity of boundary and worth. The masculine's audit often leads to a crisis of courage and authenticity. Both are necessary, both are agonizing, and both are the raw, unsexy data that fuel the decisions of the more esoteric portal we talked about earlier. You see, the silence you might be experiencing from him right now, that's not absence. That's the sound of his internal audit in session. It's noisy in there, and your own spiraling thoughts, your sudden need for finality, that's your audit demanding a signature on its findings. This process is why vague feelings crystallize into clear knowings. Why maybe becomes a yes or a no by New Year's Eve. The universe provides the energetic pressure, but our own magnificent, messy human minds do the paperwork. So what's the actionable truth here? Don't fight the audit. Lean into it. Make it a conscious ritual. Ask yourself the hard questions before your subconscious forces them on you in the shower at 3 a.m. For her, am I choosing from fullness or famine? For him, what is the cost of my continued safety? This isn't about manifesting a text message by Christmas. It's about emerging from this psychological gauntlet with a signed document from your own soul, stating clearly who you are and what you will and will not carry into the new dawn. Because once this audit is complete, the clutter clears. The story of the past year gets filed away, understood, integrated, and what's left standing in the empty space, in the fresh silence of a conclusion, is the pure, unedited signal of your connection, free from the year's static. And that is when the real magic, the kind that actually builds futures, not just dreams, can begin. But understanding that signal, well, that requires learning a whole new language, doesn't it? So here you are. You've sat in the pressurized silence of the portal, felt the cosmic squeeze. You've faced the stern, fluorescent-lit boardroom of your own soul's audit and signed the paperwork your heart demanded. You feel different, maybe a little raw, like a landscape after a necessary storm. The old year's furniture has been rearranged, dusted, some pieces tossed out entirely. And now there's this space, a curious, quiet expanse between what was and what will be. You might be waiting for the payoff, for the universe to deliver the final scene now that you've done the hard work. But let me tell you a secret about this particular story. The climax you're anticipating isn't an event. It's a state of being. You haven't been led to a cliffhanger. You've been led to a vantage point. Think of it like this. For so long, this journey has felt like being a ship in a tumultuous, beautiful, terrifying sea. You've been tossed by waves of longing, navigated by the stars of synchronicity, repaired leaks in fierce storms of healing. You've been preoccupied with the voyage itself, the map, the distance to shore. The other ship you know is sailing somewhere in the same vast ocean. You've been a voyager, but these decisive days, this crucible of pressure and audit, they weren't about finding the harbor. They were about something far more radical. They were about the alchemy that transforms a ship into a lighthouse. Let that sink in. A lighthouse doesn't chase. It doesn't fret over the tides or beg the ships to notice it. It simply, steadfastly is. It integrates its foundation with the unshakable rock beneath it. It tends to its own unwavering light. It understands that its purpose isn't to control the journey of every vessel, but to emit a signal so clear, so true, so reliable, that those who are ready and whose course is aligned will see it and will know exactly where they are. Your work in the portal was the process of building that foundation on the bedrock of your own truth. Your soul's audit was the blueprint for your unique, luminous frequency. This is the quiet miracle they never tell you about. The goal shifts in the most delicious way. It is no longer when will he arrive. It becomes how steadily, how brilliantly can I shine. It's not about making union happen. It's about becoming so unioned with yourself, so utterly coherent in your worth, your peace, your joyful existence, that the concept of waiting simply evaporates. You're not in the waiting room anymore. You're living in the mansion of your own creation. And a mansion, darling, is not defined by who visits, but by the life that fills its halls. Does this mean the connection fades? Oh, quite the opposite. It becomes clearer. When you stop straining to hear a distant song, you realize the music has been playing inside you all along, and now you can finally dance to it without self-consciousness. the love you feel for them ceases to be a problem to be solved and becomes a beautiful, permanent fact of your inner geography, a mountain that exists, whether it's cloud-covered or sun-drenched on any given day. You are free to love without strategizing, free to be silent without panicking, free to live a life so vibrant and absorbing that their eventual presence would be a wonderful addition, not the missing ingredient that completes the recipe. So, as you stand in this new space, don't look for a sign. Be the sign. Don't listen for a call. Be the source of the frequency. Your light, now distilled and potent, is the only thing you ever needed to control. And in that surrender of old, exhausting controls, you find a power that is both gentle and unassailable. The journey continues, of course, but you are no longer a passenger bracing against the waves. You are the landmark, the steady beam in the mystery. And from this place of grounded radiance, you'll find that everything looks different, brighter, more possible, including and especially the miracle of a love that knows how to find its way home. And the most fascinating part? Once you're truly shining like this, you start to notice all the other lighthouses out there, and the extraordinary conversations that can only happen between two beacons who have both learned to weather their own storms. But that, my friend, is a story written in a light all its own.